Hey, happy Wednesday, everyone. Hope you are doing well. I am back at work. It's a rainy day. It's been raining for the last couple of days, and we need the water, so I don't mind. And this is In the Raw, unscripted, unpracticed, unedited conversation. And today, I want to talk about discovering your shape. You might say, what do you mean discovering your shape? I already know what my shape is. I'm shaped like I used to be shaped like a Coca-Cola bottle, but now I'm shaped like a 2-liter Coca-Cola bottle. That's just a joke, a dad joke. But you might say, what do you mean my shape? Well, God has shaped us in a certain way, and sometimes we are not aware of that. What He's put in us, what He's done, how He's created us. And so we're going to talk, the next few videos talk about this. And here's the deal, here's the truth. The world wants to tell you a lie. And here's the lie. You can't make a difference in this world until you have it together. How many of us have believed that lie? You know, when you have it together and you've got, your family, you've got your finances in order, you have your house in order, you've got, a dog, and whatever else, makes the American dream. You have to have that in order to make a difference in this world. And that is a lie. Some of the most influential people in this world have been people that haven't had it together. They've had, to struggle. And, we see them on social media. We see them, on the news or in public, and we think, wow, that person is, has it all together. But, it could be very far from the truth, and sometimes we believe that lie. We have to get it all together in order for me to make a difference, and we're not excess baggage. We're not just existing to exist. We're not trying to catch up all the time. Don't believe that lie. God has created you for an incredible reason. And when you discover how He's created you for an incredible reason, your life will be radically changed. You won't wake up in the morning saying, I don't care. You won't live with this apathy. And some of you might say, well, what is apathy? And then the person next to you says, I don't care. That's exactly what apathy means. You don't care, right? And when you discover how God has gifted you and shaped you, and your life will never be the same. One of the kings of Israel, his name was David. He said this, listen to these words. He said, in reference to God, he said, "O Lord, you have examined my heart and know everything about me. You know my every thought when far away. You know what I'm going to say even before I say it. I can never escape from your spirit. I can never get away from your presence. Even in the darkness, I can't hide from you. To you, the night shines as bright as day. Darkness and light are both alike to you. You made all the delicate inner parts of my body and knit me together in my mother's womb. Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex." You and I are wonderfully complex, in case you didn't know that. He keeps saying, "Your workmanship is marvelous, and how well I know it. You watched me as I was being formed in utter seclusion, and I was woven together in the dark of the womb." In a whole other context in the Bible, another character named Job, who had a pretty tragic life, even in the midst of tragedy, Job says this, "Your hands formed me and shaped me." That is something that is still impresses me to when I think about this, that we are His workmanship. He formed us and He knew us ever since we were being formed, and we are a masterpiece. That just blows me away. And I realize that there might be a small percentage of you who believe that God did nothing to you, that He didn't form you or shape you, that He didn't knit you together in your mother's womb, That there was an evolutionary explosion, all of a sudden came together, and here you are. From a blob, you are a complex human. But the truth is that there's a designer. You're not an accident. You didn't evolve from a bunch of planets colliding. Our bodies, our world, our minds, our reproductive system is much too complex. It points to a designer. And God doesn't design junk. This is a piece, we are a piece of art. We are a masterpiece, as we just read. Many years ago when my son was in high school, I believe it was high school, he designed a piece of art to have it displayed at the county fair, and he won first place that year. And some of you might say, if you were to look at it, that's not art. Anybody can do that kind of stuff. That might be true. But what makes it an incredible work of art to someone like me, the dad, is that it has a name, my son's name. All of a sudden it has meaning. And when I went to the school and I went into the front office and every kid's work was up there on the wall, you know what I did? I looked at each one, I said, junk, that's trash. And then I came to my son's and I said, that is my son's. That's it. I recognized the name and I knew who he is, and I have because I have a special love for him, and to me that was a work of art. That was just a masterpiece. Maybe to somebody else it was also junk. And you might look at your own life and say, I'm worthless, I'm trash, I'm junk. My parents abused me, nobody likes me, people make fun of me. I'm not in the right crowd. My life stinks. But God says, oh, I love you just like you are. I knit you and I formed you and I created you. And God has put his name on you, and I want to encourage you to think about this. Don't be a spectator in life. Don't sit on the stands. Make a difference with how God has shaped you. And so we're going to be looking at the 5 words that make up the word shape, S-H-A-P-E. And we're going to talk about each word, each letter, and what it means. So stay tuned, come back. In the next video, we'll start talking about this word shape, each letter, what it represents, and the meaning of us being created, how we were created. What is our shape? What is your shape? All right, talk to you soon. Have an amazing rest of your week, an amazing midweek, and maybe a midday too, why not? And we will talk to you soon. Take care.